Francis.
Yes, how are we? Are we okay?
Hello.
Oh,
Hello
Hello.
everyone. How are you? You okay?
Very well.
Good to see you, everyone. Welcome to Francis Page Media Live. We usually come up to have a bit of a royal chit chat and talk about what has been going on in our royal news world. We know that there isn't really much because obviously we are heading into that rest period for the royals here, but there is still lots to talk about while they are away. So I will start by saying hi, ladies. Hi, Aspi.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Catherine.
hello,
How has your
Francis.
day
Hi,
been?
Ashley.
Hmm.
Work and then back here home now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stedman, for joining us. Thank you,
Hi,
Foxy.
Stedman.
Great to see you. Apologies that we have started quite late today, but as you know, we are all based in different time zones.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is kind of the best time to sort of chill out and have a bit of a conversation.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah.
So where should we start from? Catherine, do you want to briefly give us a bit of your channel and what you do on your channel? So that because I know usually we forget that you run a
No,
full
it's all good.
Royal News channel as well. Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I try not to get too neurotic about it.
Mm.
But I've got an article loaded for tomorrow's Substack, and I've got a script off that. It's about what William will inherit with these two scandals if the king doesn't act with at least one of them. And
Mm.
so and I've got that ready. I've got that video ready to go. That's going to be uploaded today. And I just feel quite concerned for William and Catherine because they're really inheriting this ghastly mess. And the king is not, he doesn't like confrontation. So it seems like everything is going to fall on Prince William. And I think the media are really having a bit of a field day with William.
Mm.
And it's disappointing, but it's to be expected because if he is the next heir, which he is,
Mm.
he's the next king, well,
Mm.
they're going to do whatever they can to undermine that. So that's the topic of my video later today. And in that, I talk about the new YouGov poll that came out for this quarter, and that will be on my Substack article tomorrow. So I've been working on that article all week. But I like talking about William and Catherine because even though they're not, even though Charles is the king, symbolically, William and Catherine really are because the people, the public trusts them. Look at their polling. They're in the mid
Mm.
70s. They're polling for
Those are
each
good
one of them.
numbers. Those are
Mm.
good numbers. Yeah.
It's
Mm.
just amazing. Well, the king has dropped from 61 to 53.
Mm.
Why do
Mm.
you think that, Catherine? Why do you think his polling numbers have dropped?
I expected it. In February they dropped, and that I looked at that and I thought, oh, that shows disappointment with his Christmas speech, which I
Okay.
apologise for the rant the other day on our private call. But so it showed that. I
Mm.
expected 8 points it's dropped, and that's going to worry him. And Camilla is sitting at 37. And Beatrice is in front of Camilla. So this is a bit of a warning for the king, I believe. I believe that everywhere I look, someone's saying, that's it, I'm done with this king, or I'm done with the monarchy. Okay, if you want to be done with the king, don't be done with the monarchy, right? Give the monarchy a chance.
Mm.
But what I think it shows is people have lost confidence. And I think that Camilla, they did a lot of work for 15 years in rehabilitating her, and that her polling's only going to be as good as the king's, So, I'm putting it diplomatically. I don't wish to. I think that if he was If he wasn't sick, it would be worse. I do believe that. I believe if he wasn't ill, I believe there's a real sympathy vote there. But this is a red flag for the king and also for Queen Camilla, because as a consort, she's only queen because she's married to a king. But I think what the public is saying is, you know, this is borrowed respect, and you can only live on that for so long. The other thing, which I'll go into in my video, I believe really these polls now, because I've been waiting for this quarter, I've been looking for it, and I believe it's saying symbolically, I don't know whether it's, I think it's Catherine, 76%. 76%. Symbolically, they're not the king is the king, but symbolically, the public is saying we recognise not only William and Catherine, we trust them. They've got the trust of the people. So that's why I've really enjoyed doing this, because I've been looking at, you know, some of his old interviews and some footage of Catherine, which is always beautiful. But I was glad those polls came out yesterday, because it gives us a clear picture, and I think we need to understand that. But it's because of the accumulation of all the scandals. You know, look at what's come out this week with Andrew, and I'll leave it there. I'll hand it back to you, Francis. But it's an accumulation. I think what people are suffering is scandal fatigue.
You're very much right there, Catherine. I like your assessment of that popularity of the king on that low dip.
Yeah.
It isn't very surprising as well, given the fact that the way the king has handled this situation of Harry and Meghan has not been satisfactory. Okay, so I think many people are looking at the king we have, who is probably putting his emotions first, and is also bringing his fatherhood first in all these decisions, and leaving many people out, especially the nation, which wants decisions to go otherwise. And you can understand why he is acting in a way he is, because as a king growing up all those years, he always had that sort of blaming from the public for not have given his boys enough time, etc., etc. And so he probably thinks part of why Harry went the way he went was because there was something small lacking from his side. And so he's a bit sympathetic with how he's approaching Prince Harry issues. But the nation want him to put the country first, the Commonwealth first, get them off the website, get those, strip off those titles, just literally lift the blanket off them, let them go vent for themselves. That's what the public wants. But the king still has some of those favors and still treating Harry as his son. He doesn't want to come across as too harsh. Okay, so he's caught in between those crossroads there, the king. And like we said the other day, we can all say, strip them off those titles, get them off the royal website. But it is different when you actually get to sit in that chair, that you will start to see things differently. It is more like we saw Donald Trump saying, before he became president, I'll kick them out of the United States, let them go back,
Yeah.
And then it gets into power, and it changes tone a little bit to right.
Francis, I think with Trump, though, he respects the royal family, and he doesn't want to make their lives harder.
Yeah,
and he wants to stay on the king's good side.
Yes.
And when they reopened Notre Dame Cathedral, him and William met with each other, and he was like, oh, he was so happy to meet William. He said, oh, William, he's a good man. So,
Yes.
I don't know if they secretly talked to each other and then they were like, please keep Harry over there, keep an eye on him. I don't know if it's in that way,
Yeah.
or Charles just begged Trump saying, please don't kick him out. It'll make our family look bad. It'll embarrass us. And Trump doesn't want to embarrass the family even more. So he's kind of like towing the line because he wants to keep the relationship with the royal family good. To keep
So you could
keep
say
that
that.
open.
But he lowered the tone a little bit when he became president.
Yeah, he did.
From what are they doing here? I think they've handled their case terribly. Remember when they took their case for looking into Harry's and Meghan's visa situation?
That was
and
never.
then
They were never going to open those.
Yeah.
They were never going to open
Yeah.
that actual folder, computer
For the
document,
visa.
however you want to call it.
Yeah, for the visa.
He's the king's son. They will never ever open. Everything was redacted. Remember, everything was redacted in black.
Yeah.
When they had whatever 1 or 2 pages of it, they will never find out what the real story was of that. They won't.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. But before he became president, he used to say, right, I'm not happy with how they've handled this visa case situation, and calling upon Biden's government to be a bit more tough, release those details. And everybody thought when he comes in, he will say, right, I'm going to revisit that case, open them up. But he also sort of twice.
But you know what?
I'll add, they did.
Francis, I'll add with that. If Harry would have never have said, our First Amendment was bonkers, people wouldn't have given a crap about.
Very good point.
I'm saying from an American point of view, they would have been like, who cares? He's here.
Yeah.
But that he said that pissed people off here. They're like, oh yeah, now we're going to look into your visa.
Yeah.
They knew they would never find out. It was just the inconvenience and the embarrassment, in the press, making Harry look bad with that.
Yeah.
That's why they did that.
Yeah.
That's
a good point, because you are bringing in a completely different audience now. When you talk about their criticism, particularly Harry, a foreign-born visitor in the country, he's there as his guest. You're speaking about a different audience now to the UK audience.
Well, I mean, I can definitely see what you're saying there, Catherine, but whether you're from the UK or the US, you want to be respected, and you want your people to be respected, and its government to be respected. Like, what if it was like vice versa, and one of Trump's kids was living in the UK and was like trashing the UK government, saying, I don't like this, I don't like that. How good would that look? That would look horrible.
Yeah.
But since Harry's been entitled most of his life, he just says as he pleases. I don't even think he realized how bad that statement was.
Yeah.
Because he's like in this bubble of just, he says as he pleases.
Yeah. That's it. That's right. See, I'm a dual citizen. Okay. So I feel like there's so many layers to when you're commenting on the royal family.
Yeah.
So I feel, because I'm a dual citizen, I'm quite within my rights to look at and analyse the royal family as a 10-pound pom living in a Commonwealth country, right?
Yeah.
But even if I wasn't a dual citizen, there are still, that means then even in a Commonwealth country, I have restraints. There is a certain level of respect that you observe when you're addressing the monarchy, right? But a guest in another country criticizing publicly, slamming a treasured, precious, it's an iconic piece of, it's an iconic statue in the American Constitution. Yeah. So Harry to have done that. See, I think that I don't buy fully and completely. I'd be interested in your thoughts on this, Aspie. I don't completely buy into the notion that is floating around that Harry is there on doing the king's business. Okay, because he's uncontrollable. You can't control him. if you've got someone there, it's called controlled opposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel he does do the will of Britain, right? The UK. He's baked into that. See, if they've got Ofcom in the UK, you haven't got that in the United
Mm-hmm.
States. So I do feel Harry is used as a useful idiot at
Mm-hmm.
times of elections and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what are your thoughts on that? Because I know
Well,
that,
I think the issue with that
yeah,
was, I remember in the 2020 elections,
yeah,
they kind of were on that borderline of saying support Biden.
yeah,
And they even made a commercial saying go out and vote. First of all, when I mean, I'm just thinking as an American citizen, I
yeah.
thought that the
That's what I
British
want to
royal
know.
family,
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
supposed to get involved in politics.
yeah,
So I hate saying conspiracy theory because,
yeah, yeah,
I hate using that word. I know people really think what they're thinking, and I'm not poo-pooing what they're thinking, but the theory is that the king sent them over
yeah,
to disrupt our elections because they didn't want Trump, not just the king, I should say, the UK
yeah,
government system, whatever you want to
yeah,
call it.
yeah.
I
The
mean, I say,
establishment, yeah,
right, the establishment, right. I
yeah,
say never,
yeah.
but at the same time, I know this sounds mean, he's so stupid sometimes. Why would they use him? But at the
Well,
same time,
that's
it's like,
right.
but at the same time, it's like, but he's the king's son. So he would be a useful idiot to a certain degree. But I don't know. It's tricky. It is
But
tricky. But
but
go
even
ahead, Catherine.
even even a useful idiot needs to be trustworthy. Harry is
Mm.
such a explosive. Look at the way he handled that interview after he lost his security battle, right?
Well, he's
How
like,
he went,
the kid that the
yeah,
rattle goes out of the pram is having
yeah,
a tantrum. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
So
mm,
if he
mm.
was there on the delicate as an instrument of the UK government and establishment over there, I don't think he would be is a trustworthy um, like controlled opposition. I don't think he's trustworthy because in the end he'd blow it all up. If he wasn't getting his way, he'd say, "Well, stuff you. I'm going to
But
go
but
on
I think
camera
one
and
thing,
tell everyone."
Catherine, I just think that one thing was that when Biden was in office, Biden's politics and Meghan and Harry's politics were like aligned with each
Yeah,
other,
yeah,
while Trump is completely the opposite of what like Harry and Meghan believe in politically.
yeah,
So that's why people were thinking that, you know, they were sent over to,
yeah,
interfere with the
yeah,
elections. And Biden
yeah,
was
yeah,
elected, and you know, Harry is involved with, like, and Meghan too, to an extent, wanting to censor our freedom of speech here.
Well, he's on
Mm.
the Aspen Institute,
Yes, he
so
is, and that they want
yeah,
to
yeah,
censor people
yeah,
online. So that
Mm.
means that if they pass laws or whatever, if we're criticizing Harry and Meghan, let's say, they would
Mm.
want to shut your channel down.
Mm.
And let's say if you're monetized, they would demonetize you because they feel you're promoting hate speech.
yeah,
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's you know, that's what's
yeah.
tricky with that.
Mm.
It's a
So
middle. It's a fine line, isn't it, between
it is.
conspiracy theory and
It is.
what we see with our own eyes, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell us that it's anything but what it is, which is interference in U.S.
Yeah.
politics.
I
Mm.
mean, look, some people are criticizing William for getting too involved with the environment with his what is that called? I forgot it. That
Earthshot.
yes, Earthshot Prize. They're saying, oh,
Mm.
that's so political. You're not supposed to be political. You're a prince. You're not a government official. But that's what he believes. He believes in the environment. His father believes in the environment. I mean,
Mm.
King Charles has been involved with environmental causes for
Yeah.
decades. So it's
Mm.
like that fine line of wanting to help better humanity, but at the same time not being too political. And
Yeah.
some people consider things too political. It's
Mm.
kind of tricky. It's a tricky thing.
Mm. 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 Sorry, ladies, I sort of got my camera somehow disappear and I couldn't see
It's all
myself.
right.
I think someone was trying to call me and I'm using the phone. So usually that happens. So the phone was trying to figure out which one is which. But so I missed you guys there briefly, but glad I've caught up again with you all.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
yes. So Prince Harry issues, of course, are always going to be very sensitive. You know, it's a sensitive topic when it comes to him. You know, the royal family apparently had chosen not to speak about them in any gatherings, whether it's Balmoral Summit or any members of the royal households. Actually, the name Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had become a taboo. Nobody was allowed to sort of talk about those two or call the names out or anything like that because of the sensitivity of their situation. Okay. But just like you have both said, uh, Prince Harry is always going to feel entitled. That's how it comes
Yeah.
across. So they said no to him, Catherine. I think you touched it briefly to the security he wanted police security, and when they said no to him, what did he do? Straight away jumped onto the BBC and offered that interview where he let out his rant and called his dad all sorts of things, saying he's the one that sabotaged the case and he needs to step away and let the government the lawyers do their job and the court do its job, not actually taking time to think that these courts and of laws work for His Majesty's government. Okay, so if he's telling them to step out and let them do, it's like he wants to do his father's job, basically. So he always
Well, he
comes.
was just whining because he didn't get his own way.
Yeah. So
You know,
when he
come on,
doesn't get his way,
when he
that's
doesn't get his
how.
way, he's crying victim and playing victim.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
you
think
know,
for long, the system has helped him in a way that it has always been giving in his demands. So
well, it
when
helps being
they've
the king's
started
son
getting,
also.
yeah. So
You
when
know?
things
Yeah.
got a little bit stiff,
You know.
okay, so we have a Harry who explodes because he was not used to being told no. Look at this case which is going on with Centre Bali.
Yes, I heard about
charity,
that.
yeah, so the Charity Commission returned a verdict regarding the investigations that have been going on. Remember that lady called out Harry for being a bully, toxic,
Right.
and all that
Right.
bad leadership. And so this case was forwarded to the Charity Commission to investigate. Guess what has been said by the Charity Commission? That Harry is not toxic. He wasn't toxic in any way. It was the charity's chair and the board of trustees
Well,
who
Francis, I was
mentioned that.
reading an article about like what you were talking about. And I'm just
Mhm.
reading the comments. I like reading the comments. Like after reading an article, almost
Mhm.
everyone was thinking, "Oh, the King Charles squash, you know, the
Yeah.
incident." You know,
Yeah.
that's what people are really thinking. Did he? I don't know. I mean, I have to say allegedly, but
Yeah.
could that happen? Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what we are saying here, the three of us, that the system somehow is letting him get away with things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And whether there is, it's because his father is king or Harry himself has got influences in these areas, nobody knows. But this is why this Harry is going to be a problem that will stay because even points or situations in which you think he's now called out, this is going to make him reflect upon his behavior and maybe change. Somehow he comes over them and he comes out the winner. And this is going to be a real issue. So what is going to happen to Saint Tabale, the charity chair, from now on? She's going to be working from a position of I don't care anymore now. I raised these concerns. Nobody took me.
And you know
Right.
what? It's a shame, Francis. If it was true, what happened? It just emboldens a bully. If he was a bully, it emboldens their terrible behavior. And he just thinks, oh, whether it's him or any other person who has that kind of power or celebrity or fame with a charity, oh, I can just speak to people and act the way I want, and I don't give a crap. You know, it doesn't look good. Like, even if this happens, it still doesn't look good to Harry. It looks like he's guilty.
Yeah, it looks, but with Harry, you know, yes, he's gonna, wherever he is now, he's gonna say, "See, I told you, you don't joke with me."
People don't believe it. They know what happened. Come on.
And so this lady here, who is the charity CEO, is still going to be the charity chair or CEO.
Yeah.
So this is very telling that she was right, because if she was wrong, they would have sacked her. There would have been changes in the charity board, but she's still there. She's still very much the chair and CEO of the charity. So it goes to show that, you know, a prince is a prince. Harry is a Harry. You know, he will always do things his way, and nobody will touch him. And this is the problem we have, you know, with the royal family now, having someone like that. So he's let back in. He's going to be the same person. The same problems will come again, and it isn't helping at all. The system is not helping him to change into the man he should be. Okay.
But you know what? I don't mean to sound like a complainer, but there's different sets of rules for people who are in power, who are rich, celebrity, rather than us mere mortals at times. That you know, they just get away with more. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, they do.
You know, when you know people, you're connected. In Harry's case, his father is king. He has all these government and charity connections, so it doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't, but you know, look at all the charities that are connected with, you know, Harry, for example. There is this pattern of the same issues, lack of donors coming forward to support charity aims, employee turnover is great. You have people leaving, they can't recruit in certain positions because of the toxicity of this environment. So this is the same thing. I think in the long run, this is affecting the beneficiaries, the real beneficiaries. These are the people that those charities serve. Okay. So unless
but do you think that, like, you know, with a situation like that, the mindset is, oh, let's just like put out the fire really quickly, forget about the long-term effects. We just want this to go away, like the controversy of what this, you know, the doctor was saying about, you know, Harry's behavior.
Oh, yes. So they've got to protect his image. They have to. And obviously, they are looking at it in a bigger picture. So if Harry is found to be toxic and all of that sort of thing again, it comes back to the image of the royal family, because he is still sat on the royal family website. He's very much part of the royal family. So if he's caught up in problems like those and found guilty by charity commissions, all these big, huge organizations, that mark goes, the dark mark doesn't go on Harry as a Harry, but it goes on to the royal family itself, because it's not on there. So they are looking at this in a bigger perspective, right? Let's just protect him, and it's just for the sake of protecting the image of the royal family. But underneath things.
But you know, also, like, I read somewhere that, you know, there's different rules for like the rich, you know, the aristocracy, princes, celebrities, as opposed to quote unquote regular people. With
that's true, and I think like you're raising a really good point, Aspie, because I'm reaching the conclusion part of the problem with scandal fatigue that the public are suffering is that the monarchy doesn't come out and say, okay, let's clean the slate, let's be honest as we possibly can, to restore trust, because I think that's why trust is eroded in the monarchy, because they've seen Harry get away with everything. Now, this tells you why that bullying report wasn't released, because he's in it. He was equally as guilty as Meghan. So
Mm,
now we're seeing his public reputation as a patron of this charity, right? We've seen his public reputation cleansed, washed. It's been dry cleaned now of any bullying claims, but we know he is a monster. So
mm,
this tells you the fact that they had that investigation into bullying claims. It's not Meghan they're protecting; it's Harry.
mm,
Who cares about
Mm-hmm.
Meghan? It's
Mm-hmm.
Harry
mm,
they're protecting. Look at the way he bullied his grandparents while
Mm-hmm.
they were very ill, while the Queen was frail. Oh,
mm.
it's really sad now. You're seeing headlines in the paper. Prince Harry's bullying his sick father, and he
Yeah, I read that
is.
too.
He is
Mm,
emotionally blackmailing his father. So
mm.
the point, the central point I'm making with this is what the public are tired of. The public would rather you say, yeah, look, my son, you don't have to give out all of them. You don't have to wash all your dirty laundry in public, but you have to restore trust.
You have to
And
restore trust,
you've got to
yes.
restore it. You can't expect William to do that. That's not
Mm,
William's job. He's
mm,
your son. It's the
mm,
king's son. It's the king that needs to restore trust.
mm,
People are feeling like the king is losing, he's lost his way with not just Harry, now he's dealing with Andrew all over again. But
yes.
I think
Mm.
the public have lost trust in the monarchy, and they're
Mm,
hoping that. See, William, I think, will have a more transparent monarchy because with the duchy, he repaired some potholes outside a football club, and they were pretty bad. And he put money in there, and he got other people to do the same. And he's
mm,
also um, waived the rents on some of the commercial properties because they're bringing in money other ways. So
mm,
what I'm saying is William is already beginning to demonstrate some transparency because they came under a lot of fire, both the Duchy of Cornwall and the Duchy of Lancaster, because their financial records are so opaque. So
mm,
William is reading the room. He's responding slowly, but he's responding. But the
mm,
king's not
mm,
doing anything. The king is
mm,
just covering up for his son again.
mm, mm, mm.
So what is
I
the public to
agree.
make of that?
I agree wholeheartedly, and this is where the problem is coming. This is where the ratings are on that downward spiral for the king, because the
Yeah.
public are saying things that the king might be saying, but he's not acting on those things. Uh, but you're right to say that we are going to have a very strong-minded King William when his time comes, because he has showed the signs.
They're
He
there.
time and time again,
Well, didn't he like get rid of like the lawyers that like his father was using, and he hired his
Yes.
own lawyers?
Yep.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and he's appointed people in the past who have uh, sort of stood up against Harry and said he did this, he was bullying his staff,
Mm-hmm.
so he's appointed those very people who have always expressed concerns for
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan. So that is a sign that he does not agree with what Harry does,
Mm-hmm.
and he listens to those that have brought concerns against Harry. So that's one of the subtle signs that we are going to
Yeah.
have a no
Yep.
nonsense
Yeah.
king in
It's going to
William.
be a very
He
different
is.
king.
I like to make reference to that question he was asked by one of the journalists when he was out and about with his adorable wife, Catherine, Princess of
His
Wales.
adorable wife.
Yes, is
Sweet.
is yeah, is the
She's
royal
very sweet.
family? Yeah, is the royal family a racist family. And guess what William does? He turns around, takes his mask off, and says, "We are very much not a racist family." So that question was raised a few days after the Oprah Winfrey interview. Okay, so he stood up and responded to that question. Whereas other royals, I think, including the king, would just walk past and just give people a little
Now, do
smile.
you think that's just like different generations, like in the family, how they would deal with things, that never complain, never explain, is more the older generation?
I think with William, we have seen him start to drop some of those traditions, and is now coming across as more of a transparent person, transparent with how they are dealing with issues.
Right.
Because I think there was a big problem of never complaining or never see. Times have changed. People could easily take you for being weak if you don't complain about something and just keep quiet and let people tread on your toes. Okay.
Well, I know there was criticisms with the king, like when Catherine was sick, was being bullied by these horrible, cruel trolls, that he didn't say anything in her defense. But the other side is never complain, never explain. We don't discuss stuff. So, I don't know if like the newer generations of royals will openly discuss more, like
that's where
taking
we are
things heads
heading.
on.
That's where we are heading. Thank you so much, Lily, for the super stickers. Well done for that. Thank you.
Thank
Truly
you, Lily.
appreciate it, Lily. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Um, but they never complain, never say anything. I think that concept was built around the fact that the royal family did not want to get itself entangled with issues, and because the more you complain or raise or comment or respond to the news media stories, it is going to pull you in more. It will pull you in more, and it might lead to you they may want you to respond more and more and more, and then you'll be caught up in this media frenzy of you explaining things. So it was a way of cutting down that and avoiding being caught up in these discussions.
It's kind of like a protective cocoon, pretty
It
much
is,
around the family.
indeed, and it worked. It worked for Queen Elizabeth almost throughout her reign. Okay, but we
she's
said,
a different generation.
exactly, times have changed now. We have gone into this generation where easily things can go wrong if you don't come out and stop them, or you don't put out a statement to sort of, because transparency, openness, and vulnerability is okay. It's very much
Because
okay.
I think when people, the more younger generations, think if you don't say anything, you're being complicit in like what's going on, and you're ignoring. They see you as ignoring stuff rather than putting things, taking things head on.
Absolutely. So that this is a William we are seeing here, who I think is going to be more forthcoming with putting things right straight away. And look at what Catherine did. Catherine puts out these photographs, and then people jump on those photographs and say we kill the photographs. They are edited. They are done what? They are not real. And back in the days, the royal family would just go quiet, nothing, no responding. But William, adorable wife Catherine, come out with a statement. We are very sorry. These photographs, we made a mistake here. Catherine said I was experimenting. Put out a statement there, which for me actually worked out perfectly, because
I think so too.
Yes, it showed the public that vulnerability side of the royal family, that they also make mistakes and they
Francis,
take ownership.
I don't mean to interrupt, but there's a comment below. I want to just quote from LC.
Yes.
Before the day of social media, that would have worked for them, but times have changed. I think
Yeah.
that's true too.
Yeah. I think it
Yes.
was also a post-war attitude. People have suffered worse than we have. We still have our palace standing. The Queen Mother and the King had gone around keeping morale up amongst the public and particularly the troops. So I think that never complain, never explain is a hangover from the post-war period, but it doesn't work anymore. And it worked then, but it's that comment from Elsie hits the nail on the head because in the day of social media, what do people want? They want authenticity. They don't mind if you're like a bit goofy or you haven't got a perfect set or you make mistakes but you own up to them production or a perfect response. You can respond on the fly like William did. He responded on the fly. He didn't call a press conference. He still had the mask on because that was during COVID, wasn't it? But he did that on the fly. So that's what we're going to get with William. But that never explained,
Mm,
never complain, never explained. That's post-war. That's where that was really birthed. So it's not working
mm,
today.
Mm.
It's 2025, post-COVID.
So they've got to change that concept, and
Yeah.
obviously they we're not saying they respond to every comment,
No,
but
no.
at least there are those that warrant an explanation, or especially if that issue is quite sensitive and requires the royal family's immediate response to put things right. Um, Everybody wants to see a more transparent. Everyone wants to see a more strong, because now look at how King Charles's reign is being attributed by many
Mm,
people. You know, others are saying I love the royal family. I love the king to the
mm-hmm,
core because he's offering that very, very important transition, okay, between Queen Elizabeth and King Charles, and King William and Catherine in waiting. It's very important there, King Charles, to hold that position as William and Catherine raise their children, become more mature and more experienced, take on more duties gradually until they sort
mm.
of reach at that stage where, yes, they are fully ready. So he's very important, King Charles is, and I
Francis,
support
but I
him.
also think that Queen Elizabeth, she's such a hard act to follow,
Yeah, yeah.
because she,
Oh,
it's so hard. No
yeah.
matter what he does, it's just so hard. With the Queen was on the throne for so long, over 50. How many years was she? Like,
Yeah, was on the throne
yeah, many,
73,
yeah,
yeah,
70 years. Yeah,
70 years, 70 years, yeah,
70
yeah.
years.
7 years,
So whoever
Is
came to the throne would be compared
yeah,
with her.
yeah,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
Charles, credit to him actually because he
Yes.
came
Yeah.
onto the throne very later on. And at 73, he
yeah.
was
Yeah.
assumed the throne. So usually at that point, all of us are thinking about retiring, and but he takes the throne at that age, whereas the Queen took the throne at 25, so
Yeah.
full on energy. And so he's done really well, extremely well. He's
Mm.
gone to places, Canada, he's traveled for 12, 16 hours to Australia, he's been to all these places. He's a king who's going through cancer issues, and I think
Mm.
part of how he's dealing with this Harry problem here has a lot to do with him not wanting to take on a lot of pressures and stress, and
Yes.
so he takes the
Yeah.
easy way. Okay, he takes the easy way in resolving issues, and the easy way is not always going to be the best way, as you can as you all know.
But
No.
like I
Okay.
said in another stream,
Well,
Francis,
he's an
it's harder
old
for him
dog, you know.
because, right, being a
Yeah.
father, but being the
Yeah.
king,
Yeah, so
you know.
his easy way at this stage in life he's got at is reconciliation, forgiveness, what, love. friendship,
Yeah.
kindness. So he's taking that route because
Yeah.
this is the stage he is. And it's, you could say it's very much a valid route. But when all these pressures come in of, the using of the royal titles abroad in ways that are not right, the spare memoirs, all these interviews that are sort of degrading the royal family, you would imagine someone would sort of be a bit tough and say, right, this is not good. We don't permit that behavior. How dare you say this and that about my wife? Because we know what was said about Camilla in the memoirs and all of that stuff. But he said no. He's actually not responded to any of Prince Harry's writings in his memoir. We just hear these stories allegedly.
I don't think any of them have, right? Francis,
No.
none of them have. None of them have.
There are some actions that show, for example, William's action, to me, I think, show. He may not have responded verbally, but some actions show that he did not like what was said. And this is in a way of, you will never hear stories that William has extended this olive branch. William has met with Harry secretly. William, because he is visibly not happy with whatever was said in that memoir. Okay. And so they attended their mother's, awards, Princess Diana's awards. Usually before their fallout, they used to attend, both of them on the site there, shake hands, pictures together. But since that split, you will never see a William who is going to be on site with his brother at the same time. One appears via video link. And there is a reason for that. Because they are not getting on well.
Yeah.
And so there is this wedding, supposed wedding, because
I read that.
because
Some
we
wedding coming up.
yes, we had Princess Anne's sons,
Yeah, I read about
Peter
that.
Philip, yes, who proposed to his fiancée, this nurse Harriet Harper. And so there is a feeling, there is a wedding that could be coming up soon, and invitations obviously will be sent out to Harry, Prince Harry, William, because this is a cousin of theirs who gets on well with both of them allegedly. So he will be inviting Harry 100%. So the question is, will William attend that wedding knowing Harry's going to be there as well? Okay, he might attend, because if he doesn't attend, then he might come across as putting his emotions before somebody.
But weren't they together when their uncle died? Princess Diana's sister, Robert Fellows, when he passed away, his wake. Didn't both of them attend?
Yes, but they didn't speak. They were not.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is the same thing that could happen. That they might attend both, but we might not see them speak.
Yeah.
But again, maybe William could choose not to come because, again, both of them attending would take over the wedding. Stories would be brothers met up at this wedding. They didn't talk. They did this, and that would take away the glitter from the wedding. So maybe he might make a conscious decision not to attend because he doesn't want to take over that wedding. Either of them could make that decision.
Yeah.
But our eyes are open to see how things are going to be playing out. And I think this will again give us a bit of an insight into their current state of relationship. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes.
That'll be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. But overall, coming back to our point, Aspian and Catherine, overall, there have been some signs that William has given away to Harry to say, I'm not happy over the years with your actions, the memoirs there, you talking about my wife, and he's saying that, I never married for love, this was all arranged. You saying I pushed you and you fell on the dog ball, you cracked
Mhm.
your rib, painting a picture of this person who is very angry and all of that stuff. All of those things did not sit well, allegedly. So we say allegedly, but you can see the actions on, William. When it comes to how he's now relating with his brother, there is that big arm's length, which isn't there with the king, because already we see the king's team is meeting with Harry constantly. We've heard the king is extending an olive branch. Okay, so these are two people who have handled Prince Harry differently. Uh, William is a bit more arm's length. Okay, I won't take this. I'm not having it. Whereas the king is okay. It's fine. Okay, he's playing the father figure, and I think it comes to the stage of life both of these two people are, the king
And
and
also, the king is sick too, so
yeah.
he
So
wants to
why
see
would we
Harry.
exactly?
Mm.
So how are you, our dear friends in the comments? We haven't forgotten all about you. Thank you so much. Catherine, can you read the comments or I speak? Because I think my screen is not a big one. We have Elsie. Okay. Elsie says we are going to get in constant will. They want a game the Hackers love to play. Upcoming wedding, wait and see. Okay. So I agree with you, Elsie there. William, Catherine, don't play those games. And you see, Catherine was very close with Prince Harry.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
he
Harry
Yeah.
put,
was.
yeah, and Harry said Catherine was the sister that he never had. But
He looked like he had a bit of a crush on
yes,
his
so
brother's girlfriend, but that's normal, you know.
yes,
I saw that with my boys. Every now and again, a girl had come along, and all the other three brothers would have, they'd be looking at her with starry eyes. It's actually quite normal to have a little bit of a, because he was young, he's younger than William, but he did have a bit of a crush. I think they feel so betrayed because of the way he stood by and let his wife bully Charlotte. I mean, this
Mm.
is someone who is deeply embedded in the bosom of the royal household. No wonder William's keeping him at arm's length.
oh yes, yes. That's why I'm saying to you that Harry can have all his biscuits now, the chocolates, the teas, and he knows how hard things are going to be when his brother steps on that throne. He really
Mm.
knows. And Catherine,
I
obviously,
think he's doomed. Actually, the way things are
I
right
do
now,
too.
he's
Yeah.
doomed.
yeah,
Him and Harry, and they're like out in the Arctic cold. They're doomed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
how
I
I
think
see it.
so. I think so too, because he's not, there's no hint of. I read an article yesterday. I'm just trying to think who it was. Oh, it was Tom Sykes, and it was on his
hmm
Substack. And he said, if the king is, this was it, if the king was to accept Harry's peace offering, and I just like thought, what the hell? No peace offering has been extended from Harry. Is
Mm.
yeah,
that a
no,
peace offering in a burning interview with the BBC where he says, "Oh, I'd love reconciliation with my parents," and then goes on to say that his father needs to step aside and let the professionals take care of his security. And accusing the royal family of being in on a plot to kill him. Oh my
mm,
God! But this is the media for you. This is what William's up against. You know,
yes,
Mm.
trying to establish some line of demarcation that William had nothing to do with. This is all Harry's doing. You,
mm.
Espy, you're so right. I don't know if Harry can turn anything around. I don't think he's got it in him.
I just think like the trust is gone. That's how I
Yeah.
see. Even if he comes back, him and Meghan. I don't
The
know if they're ever going to
trust,
come back, but the trust is gone. The public doesn't trust either of them.
yeah,
They'll never
yeah,
be working royals.
No,
You
That
make
trust is
Clover.
gone.
you make a good point there again, Asti, and the trust. And this is something
Yeah.
Catherine has always said as well. That trust, I don't see them coming back, especially Harry.
No, I don't.
Let's not even bring Meghan Markle in these conversations because let's face it, she hasn't even been mentioned anywhere in these peace talks. So she's out of the picture. I don't think she can even ever come close to sitting near other
Now,
women.
if there is a divorce,
But
they've said that a million times already, but let's say if there is,
okay,
Harry coming back, it'll be a little bit easier. I guess that's the word you put, easier for him.
well, if
While
that
Meghan's around,
divorce
no.
if that divorce occurs, I'm putting my hand up here and saying there is no divorce. There
Yeah,
is
I
no.
don't
Yeah.
think so.
These two are already in it. They are so
Yeah.
entangled in it
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there's nobody who can benefit from their divorce. No one.
I agree
Not
with
even the
you.
royal family.
There will
True.
never be a divorce because without
Yeah.
Harry, she's nothing. She's blotted
Yes.
her copybook. Who is going to want her? She's just a used up old piece of trash now. And that's
A
Yeah.
actually what
Yeah.
slapper, yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah.
That's actually what Andrew called her. He said she's too old for you. She's a piece of trash.
A slapper, yeah. That's
No
what people
wonder he
say.
punched him. But I mean,
An
now
old
I'm
slapper.
with you 100%, Francis. Everyone
Yeah.
says, "Oh, when the divorce," I don't believe there will ever be a
It's
divorce.
yeah, it's not coming, and I'm one of those that are praying, stay for as long as you can together, because you guys are far better when you are away there, together in your partnership, your shenanigans. Don't come back, because I know if he comes back, he's gonna bring a lot of issues here. But also, the thing is, the children, he will just crash out because Megan will
Yeah,
play on that divorce thing and milk the royal family and him as much as she can because of those two children.
yeah.
Well, these
You
children
know?
are in the line of succession, and we never see them
Yeah.
at all. So that's a whole other can of worms. Let me not go
Yeah.
into that,
Yeah.
but we never
Yeah.
see
You
these
just had
kids.
to go there,
Yeah.
Sorry,
Aspie, didn't you? Aspie, you just had to go there.
sorry, sorry.
But hey, look at how Catherine, Princess of Wales, blossomed when these two went,
Yes.
because I think in a way they were holding back her confidence because we had this Meghan competition, very ill health competition. She wanted to be the best at that. I give the best speeches, I do the best thing, I do this. Designers, fashion brands, they give Catherine good outfits. They don't give me outfits. They choose Catherine colors and they give me the dark ones. So we would have all of that, and that would cause a lot of commotion and would disrupt activity. So when they went away with all of those issues. So at least it's better we hear them, we see their controversy, but from outside there.
Well, I want to
You
read
know-
the comment. I'm sorry, Princess. I want to read a comment from Free Speech
Yes.
saying the turning point of no return happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a
Yes.
pretty good comment.
Yes. It happened long time ago. With the Oprah Winfrey, with the memoir. Okay. The memoir is another one because it's on record. The interviews might have been erased off social media. You can't find them anywhere. But that book's pair is in everybody's house. People are gonna read
I only
that.
read segments of it. It was so a
Yeah.
wine fest, board, snooze
Yeah,
fest. Yeah.
generations to come are always going to see this whinging in this book and people being accused, called this and that. I think for me that was the point of no return. Once that book was published, that's it. There is no way he can come back from that. Because if he turns around and says, I'm sorry, I wrote this book from a space, from a very different space, and it wasn't myself, publishers, people who bought the book are going to say, bring our money back. You told us lies. Okay.
And, you know, Francis, I said before, even if like he or Meghan apologized, which I think won't happen, but let's say theoretically it did, the UK public and people in general won't believe him anyway.
They
They
won't
would
take
see it
that
as
apology. Yeah. They would
won't
see
believe
it
it.
as saying it for the sake of things.
Yes, they're
Okay.
saving their behinds. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because today you can't you can't say you want reconciliation today and tomorrow you give a TV, BBC interview and you just literally throw your family under the bus. And okay. So
Yeah.
you can't take them seriously at all. But
No,
I
not at
think
all.
for me, everyone around the world, including all royalists watching us and my dear friends on this live stream here, the one thing they want to see, they don't want anything else, but they want those to drop off the royal family website. We are going to bring that time and time again.
I don't
Because
think that'll ever happen completely. That's how I feel.
it's giving these two people ammunition. It's giving them powers to go out there and pretend they are still very much
But you
under
know what,
attack.
Francis? I think the king will never drop them completely from the website.
We could see
Francis,
changes.
But
We
I
could
don't think
see
it will.
changes. We could see changes
to your
when William assumes
Oh, of
power.
course. Well, William assumes. I'm saying, while King Charles is
Yes.
alive on the throne, I don't think
Yeah.
they'll be totally taken off the website.
Yeah. And
I
yes,
don't.
Francis,
Catherine?
to your point, that's actually a really good point you raise in light of what's taken place this week with Andrew. Maybe I wonder if this would satisfy and win back a bit of trust with the public if he just went for broke and cut both the Yorks and the Sussex together, and
Yes.
then he's seen to be more balanced. He's not favouring anyone. He's not defavouring anyone. I mean, the thing is with the Sussexes, they've got the line of succession issue, the invisible children issue, right, that Aspie referred to. Then you've got with Andrew, you've got the York sisters, and there are a lot of people who would really, particularly Beatrice, would like to see her become a royal, an official working royal.
Royal
Okay.
working royal.
Well,
Yes.
she's a
So
counselor of state, I believe,
yeah,
Beatrice, right? Yeah,
exactly. So
Mm.
she's earned trust.
she
So
has.
I think, you know what? What do you think, Francis? How strategic would it be if the king decided, right, that's it, I'm going to do them both together? Then it also takes care of those Sussex children in the line of succession. It takes care of everything in one fell swoop.
That would be perfect. And I think you've just said something that I could see happen with King William. Because William is not happy allegedly with Andrew being in the picture, as he is not happy with Harry. So I think he has something, a special package for those when he comes in. And I think the way he could do it, these are thoughts we are giving. The way he could do it would be in a way of resting them for a time period to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can rest someone off. It's more like you have a website and you have a service which is part of your website, but you decide to rest that service for a bit. Put it in a folder. It's still on there, but it's not visible.
Just give it a
Okay.
404
Yeah,
notice.
give it a rest. Yeah.
When you
They
click on it,
rest
you
it.
just get
And then they
404.
come out and issue a public announcement that
Yeah.
we have made some significant changes with the family,
Yes.
with the website, and decided to rest these two titles because they are not active. So we recognize them, but we have rested them. That way, things would have been settled peacefully without
I
coming
think
across.
so. One fell swoop. I actually think it's a perfect opportunity to, because no one is going to hold it against the king doing it with Andrew. But if he does it all together,
Yeah.
then Harry's hasn't got a leg to stand on. Oh, but you cut that off. But Uncle Andy is still there. You can't cry. And then the Sussex children are gone.
Well,
Yeah,
not only that, I wonder if Prince Andrew about that royal lodge, if he'll ever
yeah,
be removed
yeah. The
Well,
Royal
he has to
from
Lodge.
royal
leave.
lodge.
But
Yeah, he has
where
to
where do they
release.
where do they want Andrew to go?
The
He's
Frogmore
still
Cottage. I
there.
read an article that
He's
put him in
still-
Frogmore College. It's a smaller place. It's just him and Fergie.
yeah. So
That's going to
Andrew,
hurt his pride.
I
Meghan and
know.
Harry's
You know what?
leftovers.
Free speech is making a point. Free speech says
Free
at
speech,
least
okay?
Andrew stays quiet.
He stays quiet, he stays
Mhm.
grounded, he still respects the royal family. He's been a bad boy in a way out there, but he's
Yeah,
actually
That's
not.
an understatement.
you're master of the understatement.
But he has actually not disrupted the activities of the
No,
royal
he
family.
hasn't betrayed his family. That's the difference
Yeah,
between
exactly.
Andrew and
Yeah,
Harry.
yeah.
Well,
And
Andrew
he's
he,
been
hasn't
he's
under
sold out
house
his family.
arrest.
absolutely, he listens to all the orders he's been given. The only time he shows up is during Christmas, and we see him at Sandringham. Okay. After that, he's gone. The next time we have to see him is
But I wonder
Christmas
if a
again
reason
because
that
it's
Andrew
family.
is
Huh?
behaving in a sense is for his daughters because he wants his daughters to be
Yeah,
working royals.
yeah. I
Yes,
think
it
I
is
think you've hit
part
the
of the.
nail on the head. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but Andrew also knows that what the, his life was messed up somehow, so he's taking responsibility of it, and that's one way he's doing it by accepting.
Yeah.
So he's thrown here, get out of the Balmo, whatever. What is it? The Royal Lodge, go here. He goes wherever they push him to go. He's very compliant. Okay. But we have Mr. Entitled, Harry, who is, seen as more of disruptive than Andrew. But you make a very good point there, Catherine. Deal with them together so that one
Yes.
doesn't say they are double standards.
Yeah, I think it's a
Okay.
perfect opportunity, and don't
Yeah.
leave it to William. I think the king could really, get himself out of purgatory with his polls if he
Purgatory.
won a bit of trust back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Or
would, I would
give
like.
Purgatory.
pay some money and get him out of
Yeah.
limbo. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's golden opportunity, frankly, and they should grasp it. But
Mm.
don't leave it to William. That's unfair.
It's unfair. I would like to have your say, our dear friends in the comments. What do you think the king needs to do with this Harry and Andrew problem? Leave it in the comments section below. So Elsie says Andrew is almost as entitled as arrogant as Harry. Poor spares, Crimea River, some of the most privileged on earth.
True. Very true.
He's
I
the
like that
world's
comment, Elsie.
smallest.
But you know what? With Elsie's comment, I may have said this on another live. I don't remember, but the Queen did an exemplary job. But I think one of her mistakes was spoiling Andrew and letting him
Yes.
get away with his
Yes.
horrible behavior.
Yeah,
Like
the Queen
mistreating
is.
staff,
Yeah.
security, just letting him go and come as he pleases. Yeah.
So the Queen used to love Andrew so much,
Well, he's known as the Queen's favorite, so
Yeah, King's favorite. So so
favorite son.
we won't come across as too harsh with Charles when he's treating Harry as, because the Queen also had their favorite, but most of the time their favorite is not people's favorite. Okay,
No, but
and
Francis, I saw it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but Francis, I saw an interview of a former
Mm.
protective officer with Andrew, and he said he used to treat them so appallingly and poorly that everyone hated Andrew.
oh yes,
While
Yeah.
his brother Edward, Anne, and Charles and the Queen treated the staff pretty good. But Andrew was just so bad in that sense that even the staff don't like him.
Yeah, those
You know?
allegations have been there on record.
Well, Andrew
and
Loney, yeah. Go on.
have we lost you, Catherine, the sound?
Catherine, can you hear
Oh
us?
no, sorry. I thought I was beginning. Yeah, I
Okay.
thought I was beginning to talk over you, and I pulled back. No,
No.
I think. Well, Andrew Loney said. I was listening to him this morning, and he said, "This is really tells you the character of the man Andrew is talking about. He took a lot of pleasure humiliating people.
Mm-hmm.
How 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 dark is that? How dark? He loved humiliating the staff. He loved humiliating people. He just loved humiliating
Mm-hmm.
people. Like what sort of dark character is that?
Yeah, he used to call his staff the C word. See you next
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah. Like, get away from
See you
me.
next
See you next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's horrible. That's what he would say to staff. Yeah.
And
He
so
was
we've got
terrible.
Foxy. We've got Foxy says that Andrew threw his protecting staff under the bus very, very badly on the whole. Okay. So those who worked under him have those stories to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah says, I don't think Invictus made any announcements yet and no change to the website yet. Thank you for bringing us to that point as well, Deborah.
Yeah.
Regarding, because I've seen
Mm.
other channels very excited about Invictus games, David Beckham taking over, Harris, but that hasn't been confirmed yet.
No.
I think they rushed. They must have read that from some of these unreliable sources looking for clickbaits. And rushed to put that
It
piece
would
of
be a
news.
great idea if David Beckman did
But
take over, but
they haven't
know.
really made any statements regarding
Yeah.
Beckham taking over, and I don't think we will have such a thing as that now because Harry that is his only thing left. Take that away from him, he's finished, completely
Yeah.
finished.
After
Mm.
Centre Bali's
Yes, yeah.
what's happened,
Now I know.
I'm actually inclined to agree with you. I thought there was a possibility, but when I read the Centre Bali outcome, I thought, oh, there goes Invictus.
Exactly. Yeah.
Harry's there to stay.
Yeah. So let us not get excited by, hey, Beckham is
Yeah.
taking over. How nice it would have been. But I don't see
Mm.
that happening now. And I was literally actually fuming at some of these channels who put this piece of news out there.
Francis fuming. I
Yeah,
don't believe
because I
it.
say, how do you rush to put this when you haven't actually seen
Yeah.
it off the Invictus Games website? It's quite naive to do that. This is why I think these sites, the unofficial sources, started sharing this rumor. Because
Yeah.
David Beckham was knighted only a few days ago. A few weeks ago, David Beckham was knighted. So they are assuming this would be the next step for the Sir David Beckham to be gifted by such a big project.
Mm.
But not quite yet. I don't think they would be in such a rush to relieve Harry off the Invictus Games, especially as he's in full swing, in full gear to do the 2027 Invictus Games. And
Yeah.
they've already made
He's
this
there to
announcement
stay.
under Harry, yes. So
I
it's
thought
so.
I thought there was a chance, but not now.
Mhm. So it's. I don't know, but I don't think it's right. I don't think it's true at this point. We have to wait for the official websites, official sources, and one of those official ones will be the Invictus Games website
I
itself.
wonder who put that out there, though, Francis.
They got
It's
this. It was
where
one
did
of
that
these.
idea come from?
It was an Indian website, an Indian source that wrote a big story in one of their newspapers and say Harry to replace, sorry, David Beckham to replace Harry as head of Invictus. It was it's Indian newspaper somewhere there, Middle East area there. These are news agencies like to put out stories like that to sort of gain clicks
The
and
clickbait. The clickbait.
clickbaits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
can I ask you this question though? That sounds to me like someone's put up a trial balloon to test the waters of a change of patron. It sounds like someone else has put that out there and there's some off, knowing it would be picked up, by other channels elsewhere. That's what that sounds like to me. It sounds like a PR trial balloon, just testing the waters. But after that, remember, wasn't even that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, darlings, it wasn't even that long ago, a couple of weeks in the royal family's a lifetime. But there was all the talk of reconciliation, and there was these photos of a reconciliation
Olive
meeting.
branches.
My God, he's
You need a
coming
whole
back.
tree of olive branches.
Come back,
Yeah.
Harry. Yeah,
We'll need the whole
exactly,
tree.
right? So, and I think exactly. So that was to me a trial balloon to see what the temperature would be like if Harry came back, and the public said, "No how, no way, no."
Yeah.
We
And
don't want him. So
yeah,
the next minute we hear is David Beckham's taking
it's taking over Invictus
possibly
Games, and
taking. I think someone. Yeah, I
yeah.
think someone's put it out there trying to
There's
test
someone out there
something.
testing the
And then these
waters.
silly royal channels. Yeah,
Picked it
I
up,
think.
picked
I
it
think
up, and
that.
made a big
Yeah,
headline. Harry to become
yeah.
David Beckham. I say, oh my Jesus Christ! Wait, go to the source and first verify this. Oh. And I don't be so quick to be excited. I know we all get
I just,
excited. That would be a brilliant idea. But there
I
are
think it
certain
would be a
things
great
you sort
idea.
of, huh?
I think it would be a great idea. David
It would be,
Beckman would
yeah,
be great.
would be great, would be, but I
And he respects
still
the royal
think,
family too, unlike
when you
Harry.
yeah,
So
yeah.
well, when you said it was on an Indian website, my radar went up. I thought, hang on a minute. If they'd released that out through one of the major publications here in the
So
UK,
we see
they would
so
have
many of
found the
these
source of that.
stories. These stories, yeah.
No.
it's
We
clickbait,
see,
Something
yeah.
fishy.
yeah,
Something fishy's going on.
fishy. We
Anyway,
see.
it's not going to happen.
Yes, not now. Harry is hosting the Invicta. Is whatever 2027. He's
In
already
Birmingham.
He's already started sending out invitations. He even sent invitations to King and Prince William to go to
Oh,
Invicta
it'll be
Games in
great.
Birmingham. They haven't responded to those invitations allegedly. So you can see Harry is already in full force for the Invictus 2027. So this all of a sudden of David Beckham taking over, it would be a great idea, okay? But not now. And I don't think it's from a credible source, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think you're right, because first you had the possibility of Mike Tyndall, right? You had that possibility. That was put out there. What about Mike and Zara as the patrons? But then you had this other suggestion with David Beckham, who's just been knighted. Because he's a sportsman, he would have been perfect. But look, not after Centibale, it's not going to happen. And Harry, if he thinks he's going to get the king there, he needs to go away and rethink, because the
yeah,
king can't turn up.
he can't turn up. I'm
King
under the
cannot go.
impression. Yeah, I'm under the impression. I think we had this discussion last time
Yes.
that
Yeah.
he will, if he has sent out those invitations to members of the royal family to attend, the king would definitely send someone who is less of a popular, who is one of the royals, but not enough to make huge headlines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But
Could
I
be,
can't
yeah.
see, yes, I can't see a Charles, I can't see a William attend this because that would take away the shine off from the Invictus Games itself, because stories would turn to, oh, Prince William and Harry meet at Invictus Games.
Well, Harry
Oh,
wants to be in the center of attention, so does Meghan, so
yeah,
they want it to be
yeah,
about them.
absolutely.
All about
So,
them.
and so what comments have we got there? We've got Elsie says, no, Deborah, Trevor came out and said he should have sat on the story for 48 hours. Was it Trevor who shared that story?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it seems to suggest that he
Yes.
shared it first, then he
Yes.
came out and said, "Oh, he should have sat on it for 48." There's a lot of wisdom in waiting, you know.
It's not
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's very telling of uh,
yeah.
what media agencies can put out there. So if you're not very clever to sift through these stories and try and make sense out of them, we could be driven into making mistakes with putting out big stories like those ones. But if it's Trevor who shared it, of course,
Yeah.
when a story like that comes out, it is very easy to put it out as well, especially as David Beckham recently has been very hot a topic in the royal household. And he's had,
It's a really clickbaity headline. It's just,
yes.
isn't it? Think about it. It's real
Mm.
clickbait, and everyone just goes crazy. Yes, yes, fantastic. You
Yes.
know, yeah.
No.
You have to
Take
go
a
by a
step back.
statement from Invictus. Like if a statement from Invictus comes out
That is the
saying
most
that
credible source.
that's the
Well said.
most
Yeah.
reliable. I'm
Yes.
sorry, my dog is barking. Sorry.
No worries. Say hello. Can we see your dog? How big
Not
is
no
he?
Give
problem.
me
Yeah.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Let's
Okay.
Let's
Hold on.
have
Let
a
me
look
try
at
and
your
get him.
dog. Okay,
Come here,
please.
Oscar. Foxy has seen him before on video. Here you go. Here.
I love his name, Oscar. He's
Yes.
such a
Oh,
Wait,
lovely.
come here. Come here.
Oh.
Sorry, he's wiggling.
oh,
Okay.
it's nice.
So
He's
Hello.
wiggling.
What's the
Aw.
dog's name? Is it she or
Oscar.
he?
It's a girl.
Andrew.
It's a boy, and his name is
Oh,
Oscar.
oh, Oscar. Okay, Oscar is a popular name for a
I
dog.
love hearing your New York accent.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Oscar, can I
famous.
show Oscar my
I love
big
it.
brother? Wait. Oh,
Come here,
what's my...
Oscar. Come here. Come here. Come. Now he's shy. Come here.
Oh no, it's not a dog, but it looks like.
That's funny. Come here.
Your dog is vying for attention,
Do you know,
Francis.
Aspi, I have a massive fear of dogs. So Oscar would be chasing me
Oh,
around the
he's
block.
little. He's only 10 pounds. He's a tiny little dog.
Oscar
You
would be
can't fear
chasing me
him.
around the block like.
You can't fear him. He's a little destructive, like with toilet paper and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
he's very sweet otherwise.
Yeah. But hey, should we finish this live in the next
Yeah,
Yeah.
5
it was a
minutes?
really good
Yeah.
chat, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very good
Throwing
chat.
around a few
Yeah,
ideas.
so our friends could go to bed. I think it's getting late here in
Yes,
the
I'm sure,
UK.
especially on your end, Francis.
On our ends, yes. But I love you all. Thank you so much. The comments section.
Thank you.
We haven't forgotten your input. It's marvelous, marvelous.
Yes,
All
the
of you
comments were great. Thank you
are
guys
great.
in the chat.
Yes. Yes, and so we've got Deborah says social media platforms.
Foxy reckons this is getting funny.
Yeah.
Foxy, yeah. I think he likes your dog.
Yeah,
Francis.
he's seen it on his lives, Roxy's lives.
Yeah.
I've shown my dog before, so he knows Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar, yeah. So someone told me.
So
'cause
he's got Oscar. What's your dog's name?
I have a massive fear of dogs. So someone said, you need
Really?
to buy,
Oh.
yeah, said buy something that looks like a dog in your house. So you start off with those small steps of accepting pets. So I bought this one here just to start off. Okay.
You're adorable, Francis. Honestly, you're so lovely. Love you to bits.
Yeah.
But I don't know if because I had an incident with the dog many years ago when I was growing up. So I have that feeling that a dog at one point can just snap and and just do something crazy.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you have them, you've trained yours Aspie, I suppose, and it does things that you ask it to do. But there are other dogs you go out in the park, and this dog, the owner says, "Oh no, it's a good dog. Oh no, it won't bite you." And then
Yeah.
one minute it comes at you. And, it's and then you see the owner calling it back, "Get back!" And it won't get back.
Hmm.
So that has made me feel a bit not too often.
Yeah.
Mm.
My sister's the same because she was attacked by a dog, and
Really?
now, yeah,
Okay.
she's very similar situation. So I feel your pain, Francis. I feel
No,
your
I
pain.
with him, I've only ever had excuse me, sausage dogs they call them in the UK,
Yes.
Yeah,
Dachshunds.
Yeah.
so
They're
cute.
small because I can't walk 100-pound dog on a leash. You know, a 10-pound dog is a lot easier to walk and
Yeah.
carry.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got
So
this and that. Thank you so much, this and that.
She's saying good
Thank you,
night.
okay.
Yeah.
MC. Thank you, Foxy, Lisa,
Bye
Stedman,
everyone.
everyone
Thank you
who's
for
on the
being in the
chat.
chat.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you,
We
everyone.
really adore you. We
Good
do,
night,
because
Yes.
Elsie.
without you, these conversations would be meaningless. You add
Yeah.
so much value to these live streams. We never take all of you for granted. Thank you.
Well,
Hmm.
you're a wonderful
Right.
host, Francis.
Yes.
Yes.
So everyone,
Very nice
please,
conversation.
if you are not yet subscribed to Catherine's channel, A Royal Australian, please do. It's a very
Mm.
wonderful channel, holding our
Yes.
flag across the pod in
See you over
Australia.
there.
Please, yes. Aspi doesn't have a channel, but
No,
she's
I
a
don't.
regular, yes, but she's a regular
Thanks,
guest on
Foxy.
the show now, contributes a lot.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Aspi holds the highest membership of the channel as the A team member. Thank you so
Oh,
much,
of
Aspi.
course she does.
That support is so appreciated. And I
Thank
think we
you.
have two other members. Promise Rhodes is one of those as well. She's not here with us, but she had a baby a few weeks ago.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
wow.
Yes,
Congratulations.
yes. So if she gets to see this live, Promise, congratulations. We hope the baby is doing very well.
Yes.
Yes. Catherine, we are looking forward to a live stream on your channel very soon.
Yes. That'd be
Please.
great.
I'm just a shy little thing.
Oh, really? No, you're not, Catherine.
I
Don't
hear
say
you
that.
say that, Elsie. Yeah, I am. I'm just a scaredy thing, I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm going to do on a live. What am I going to talk about? The same
Oh
thing I
no.
talk about when I'm with you. Just pretend you're on the
you,
other side.
oh, you've
I
got us. You've got us.
I
Everything we've
know.
started on this channel. Yeah. But so let's wrap up, dear ladies. And I'd like
Thanks,
to
Yes.
wrap up
everyone.
by saying that obviously the royal family is going into its summer break period.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
are going to be meeting up in Balmoral. I think some have started making their way up there because 10th
Hmm.
August is when they start the summit. And part of the discussions in these summits is to talk about the way forward for the royal family, have a bit of an insight on the engagements they have done so far, and how those engagements have gone down. Okay, the challenges they have faced and where they need to change things around. They also look at the diary to see who might be willing to take on some more duties, because as you know, that the royal family is quite slimmed down. So as part of the summer meetings, there is a lot of discussions to do with how they can manage these diaries more effectively. But there is also a lot of planning that is going to be put in place for Catherine's Together at Christmas,
Hmm.
which usually takes place early December, 5th December, around that week. Yes, so the Together Christmas, and then there is some Remembrance Sunday in November, which comes up.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yes,
Hmm.
so all
Wow,
of the
that's going to be
planning.
good.
Absolutely. All of the planning will take place at the summit when they meet up, and they will look at who will be responsible for what, the organizing teams, and as well as that, the kids running around talk like.
Francis, doesn't the
Nice.
Prime Minister go up to
Yes, the Prime
Balmoral?
Minister. Yeah, the Prime Minister goes up to Balmoral as well for a few days. But I think he tends to go on the first few days, stays there for a few days, but then leaves the royal family to deal with other things as a
Okay.
family. Yeah, so he only goes in for a few days, if not one day or two. So that's it. Yeah. But so we're gonna have a lot of silence now.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to see now more stories popping up of Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, because they like to take the ground. They use that time when royals are not there to assume they are the working royals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't surprise me. They need
Yeah.
attention.
We've got the Prince Andrew scandal, so that's going to be a rolling story for a while.
Yes,
Oscar's
yeah.
jealous. Oscar wants
Yeah.
your attention.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he wants mother's attention. Yes.
Yeah. But yes,
Yeah.
but nevertheless, we've got lots of things to talk about while they are away. We shall do an
Yes.
episode on Catherine, Princess of Wales, the advice she has taken over the years from the late Prince Philip, and how that has helped her to become the beautiful hardworking royal she is today. I think our next live will focus more on her achievements for the royal family so far.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Right.
All
thank you,
right.
Francis.
Thank you.
You're a wonderful
Thank
host.
you, Francis.
And
Thank you,
you
Catherine.
and you to
Bye-bye,
enjoy the rest of
Ashley.
your night, and we shall behind the scenes discuss when our next one will be
Yes.
coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you, our
guys.
dear friends.
Bye.
Bye
Good night,
bye.
Ashley.
Bye-bye.
Good
Good
night, Oscar.
night. Yeah. Good night. Thank you,
Good night,
everybody.
Oscar. Yeah.
Bye. Good night.